In the harsh deserts and crowded urban streets of Iraq and Afghanistan, one threat reshaped modern warfare more than almost any other: the improvised explosive device. IEDs turned roads into ambush zones and forced militaries to rethink how they moved, patrolled, and survived. Out of that pressure came a new generation of vehicles designed not for speed or stealth, but for survival. One of the most recognizable and widely deployed among them was the MaxxPro MRAP, a vehicle that became a symbol of adaptation in two of the longest conflicts of the modern era. The MaxxPro was born from urgency. By the mid-2000s, conventional Humvees were proving dangerously vulnerable to roadside bombs. Casualties mounted, and it became clear that lightly armored vehicles were no longer enough. The U.S. military launched the MRAP program with a simple but demanding goal: create vehicles that could protect crews from blasts, fragments, and ambushes, even if that meant sacrificing speed or comfort. Navistar Defense answered that call with the MaxxPro, a mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicle built around a straightforward but powerful idea: keep the crew alive at all costs. At first glance, the MaxxPro looks bulky and almost crude. Its tall profile, flat armored sides, and towering stance make it impossible to miss. But every angle serves a purpose. The most important feature is the V-shaped hull, designed to deflect blast energy away from the crew compartment when a mine or IED detonates underneath. Instead of absorbing the full force, the hull channels the explosion outward, dramatically reducing the lethal impact inside the vehicle. This single design choice saved countless lives and became a defining feature of MRAP vehicles worldwide. Inside, the MaxxPro prioritizes protection over luxury. Thick armored walls surround the crew, ballistic glass shields them from small arms fire, and energy-absorbing seats help reduce injuries during blasts. The interior is cramped, loud, and far from comfortable, but for soldiers and Marines riding inside, it represented a massive leap forward in survivability. In Iraq and Afghanistan, where a routine patrol could turn deadly in seconds, that protection meant confidence that even if the worst happened, they had a fighting chance. Powering this heavy armored beast required a robust engine. The MaxxPro used a commercial-style diesel engine, paired with an automatic transmission capable of hauling its enormous weight across rough terrain. While it wasn't designed for high-speed maneuver warfare, it excelled at what it was built to do: patrol dangerous roads, escort convoys, and move troops through contested areas. In environments where the enemy relied on hidden explosives rather than tanks or aircraft, the MaxxPro was exactly the right tool. In Iraq, the MaxxPro quickly became a common sight. Urban insurgency and roadside bombs made convoy security a constant challenge. The vehicle's height gave crews better visibility over surrounding traffic, while its armor allowed it to absorb attacks that would have destroyed lighter vehicles. Many after-action reports credit MRAPs like the MaxxPro with dramatically reducing fatalities from IED strikes. Soldiers who walked away from explosions that once would have been fatal often described the vehicle as the reason they were still alive. Afghanistan presented a different kind of challenge. Mountainous terrain, narrow roads, and rough tracks tested the MaxxPro's limits. Its size and weight made it less agile on steep slopes and soft ground, and in some regions, maneuvering such a tall vehicle was difficult. Despite these challenges, it remained widely used, especially on main supply routes where the IED threat was highest. The trade-off was clear: less mobility in exchange for far greater protection. Over time, different variants of the MaxxPro were introduced to address specific needs. Some versions were optimized for route clearance, others for troop transport or command and control. Remote weapon stations were added, allowing gunners to engage threats from inside the armored cabin rather than standing exposed in a turret. These upgrades reflected the evolving nature of the conflicts and the constant effort to improve survivability without completely redesigning the vehicle. One of the most important aspects of the MaxxPro story is what it represents beyond metal and armor. It symbolizes how modern militaries adapt under pressure. The vehicle was not the result of decades of slow development; it was rushed into service, refined in combat, and improved based on real-world feedback from troops on the ground. This rapid fielding approach marked a shift in how defense procurement responded to asymmetric warfare. Critics often pointed out the MaxxPro's weaknesses. Its high center of gravity increased the risk of rollovers, especially on uneven terrain. Maintenance could be demanding, and the vehicle's sheer size made it hard to deploy in certain environments. But even with these drawbacks, most troops who used it understood the trade-off. When facing buried explosives and ambushes, protection mattered more than elegance. As the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan evolved and eventually drew down, the role of the MaxxPro began to change. Many vehicles were transferred to Allied forces, placed in reserve, or adapted for training and support roles. Yet its impact remains undeniable. The lessons learned from its deployment influenced the design of future armored vehicles and reshaped how militaries think about force protection in counterinsurgency and stability operations. Today, when people look back at images from those conflicts, the silhouette of the MaxxPro stands out. It is more than just a vehicle, it is a reminder of a specific era of warfare, where the battlefield extended to roads and marketplaces, and survival depended on engineering as much as tactics. For the crews who rode inside it, the MaxxPro was not perfect, but it was trusted. In the broader context of military history, the MaxxPro MRAP represents a turning point. It showed that even the most powerful armies must adapt quickly when faced with new threats. It highlighted the importance of listening to soldiers' experiences and translating those lessons into practical solutions. And most importantly, it demonstrated that saving lives can drive innovation faster than any other requirement. The MaxxPro may not dominate headlines today, but its legacy lives on in every modern protected patrol vehicle designed with blast resistance at its core. It stands as proof that in warfare, the ability to learn and adapt can be just as decisive as firepower. For those who served in Iraq and Afghanistan, the MaxxPro will always be remembered as a rugged guardian on dangerous roads, a vehicle built in urgency, tested in combat, and proven where it mattered most.